Hello, all greetings. This is Gilles Mancien. I wanted to come and say hello, pull out a few cards, discuss a few ideas. Before that, I wanted to talk about habitual thoughts. For habitual thoughts are beliefs that these thoughts that we keep it repeating to ourselves. But certain thoughts we need to ignore them long enough so they disappear. Because if we believe all those thoughts, habitual thoughts, we can't really free ourselves, liberate ourselves. And also I wanted to say it's important that we make a resolution of what we need to change. Usually on January 1st we make a resolution of those things we want to change, and usually it doesn't work. So the idea is to do it now, so that by the December 21st we'll be able to anchor that, and then by the new year, otherwise, because we will be flowing into the energy of the new year, so by the new year we'll be flowing with the energy of the anchored change, rather than having to make that change. So use this portal, even if it is a bit of sacrifice for the holidays, whatever we need to let go. For me, I know I'm advising to let go of all kinds of toxins, although they're a comfort product like alcohol, tobacco, for me coffee, but in essence you have to find out what is true for you, what you need to do. There is no right or wrong. It is just part of a process. It is all a great big drama, a collective experience that we choose. All the bad guys are in truth beings of light. Everybody's are the beings of light, and no matter what. But there is a whole scenario that is being played. We've been conditioned into this dark synthetic timeline, those nightmare of war and so on. But we're going to return into a natural timeline that will lead us to freedom. So trust that. Trust the universe is working for you, and you're working for the universe. As we work for the universe is working for us. Understanding what we resist persists. So do not push against anything. Just let it go. All those things are easy to say, easy to understand, but it is in the application that wisdom comes, and the application of those things long enough so that we can see the result of those ideas. Pull 10 cards from the angels just to see what maybe the guidance. The painting behind me is a painting I showed the other day. I thought it was finished, but it wasn't finished, so I kind of finished it. So the situation for us is to rejoicing. So it is the angel Vassaria, she's beautiful. And so the angels are here to assist us with rejoicing. It's about finding this joy, this freedom, no matter what the circumstances, to let go, to be neutral, to integrate all memories. Because if there is things that still trouble us, it's because we haven't balanced it out. So it's good to be positive or neutral. If you cannot be positive about someone or something, just be neutral about it. What comes around the situation is justice, divine justice. The word becoming is the angel Riael. So there is a lower justice and higher justice. For man has created laws, but there is laws and 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 laws. There is like laws that are so many laws, but in many sense. The laws that are contradicting themselves and that were created by the lobbyists to protect their own interest. But in many sense, there is only one golden rule, one law: is do no harm. If you do no harm, you are free and clear in relation to God, life, and the cosmos. So what we see before us in our conscious mind is a renewal, a new beginning. It's the angel Mumia. So she brings this new energy. So we want to tune into the angels. What's in our subconscious, the past, is the struggle. Is the angel Yehuya. And so the struggles are part of life. It's helping us to forge our character, but we have to let go of the struggle in order to move into this realm of acceptation. Where we are now is hesitation. It's the angel Yezalel. So it's okay to hesitate, but we do not want to hesitate too much, because in many sense it is once we are connected to God, nothing is impossible. For God is all powerful, and God is the other side of ourselves. So it is like the other side of the coin. And so in a sense, the best example is when, for those who can believe those stories, is that when Moses opened the Red Sea, he had no doubt that God was going to do it for him. If he had any doubt, it would have not happened. So it is all about all about having faith and trust and removing the doubts in relation to what you receive inside of you. What we coming in the near future is well-being. Is the angel Celia. And there is a whale, and it's all about well-being. For the whales and dolphins are higher beings of light. They live in a physicality, but and inside the whale is like the collective consciousness that live in the same body. The higher consciousness beings that are preparing for collective ascension, eighth dimension, and so. Those beings are sacred. They shouldn't be treated the way they are treated by the world, and so it is. Whenever we attack dolphins and whales or cetaceans, we were doing a great deal of damage to the planet. The planet, we're going to be coming into the understanding. The planet is not something to be consumed. It is a real living being. Everything is alive, and so in many sense we're going to have to become a little bit more responsible in relation to our own living environment. The strengths we have in this situation is freedom, liberation, and the angel is Kavakya. And so she brings freedom, she brings liberation, and once we find this liberation, we find. We are harmonized. It doesn't mean that it can happen that we get out of our center, and sometimes we have to return to center. For yesterday, for instance, I had a really hard day because I haven't had nightmares for years and years, and I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning with a very bizarre nightmare, and that threw off my whole day. It created all kinds of doubts, but eventually I returned by the evening. I was like fine, and so it is important to know that when you have a nightmare, you're releasing something. What surrounds us in the outside world is temperance, is the angel Nemamia, and so here it is this temperance is very much about becoming master of ourselves, and not to become intemperate, to let go of all those things that are excessive within our life. What we have in our inner emotion is the revelation. Our hopes and fears is the angel Aziel. And so it is by being receptive that we are revealed. There is no truth we can discover within. We can discover some things with the mental or mental mind, but everything that belongs to the higher realm of spirit is revealed. It's something that is revealed, either by books or people or through our own meditation. I would say not like the other day in my video I sang the song of Michael Jackson, "We Are the World," and in my meditation the same night I saw the vision of Michael up there, and he had this Borsalino hat, and he was like pulling it up like, "Thank you for singing my song," and he was very sweet, and it's a spirit I've been working with. It's everybody that departs still exists up there, huh? So it's like everybody we lost, we'll find them again, we'll see them again, huh? It's just here we live in a condition matrix. I'm going to discuss that. And the outcome is serenity, is the angel Velia. Serenity is a wonderful gift. It is the ability to be well within any moment of now. It is about being lucid and serene in all circumstances. That's the point, is to not let, because as long as there is button to be pushed, the universe will push those buttons, life will push our buttons, and if there is so it is good to like I said, to be neutral in relationship to a lot of our past. I wanted to say that all of it is our life. All that we know is our life. This is it. Everything is. Sometimes because we've created some things that are unconscious, unconsciously we have created limitation, and so sometimes I feel like I'm victim of circumstances, but it is those things is because I didn't attend certain things. Now it is about transforming all things. At any point in time we can transform anything by changing our position in relationship to those things, harmonizing, letting go of the past. I know personally there's a great deal of unknown in relation to my immediate future, but I know when something, I have projects that are very, very powerful projects that I'm looking forward to manifest, but I know when it's going to start. Everything's going to start really quickly. It's going to be a lot of things are going to come together, so I'm getting ready for that. I'm cleaning up my physical body. This morning it was very cold, raining really hard, and Spirit told me to speak, but I know in order to assist my physical body in its healing, I decided to go run. And so I said, it's pouring rain. I said, oh, they didn't ask me to go running, so I'm not going to do it. And then at this point, I saw somebody running under the rain, and so I'm going to go. And so I went there. So I didn't run very long, but it's an intention. It's about showing intention that you are collaborating with the universe. For the more you work for the universe works for you. Understand? You said I'm ready now. Now is the time. Now is the time to receive. In a sense, we are all created multi-dimensional beings. Before we were, we always will be multi-dimensional beings. But here we are in a conditioned matrix, and this conditioned matrix is like we are led to believe that the physical world is all that is. When in truth there is so much more. When the human beings were first created, they were physical, but they were connected to the Father, Mother, God of the universe, the angelic realm, the galactic. But at the end of the galactic wars, the Earth was very, as a person, she has a very open constitution, and she accepted to serve as a testing ground and receive all the dark souls that were escaped from the galactic war. For the light has won those wars that lasted for millions of years, but eventually the light won. There was some agreements that were made. Soon we will be able to know all this for fact. There will be a proof of those things. And what happened is that certain beings from Orion came here and reduced the DNA of humans, so their consciousness would not be able to tune into the higher planes. It was to become a slave race, so they could mine the gold. So for their planet they needed precious metals. But now they no longer need that because they discovered technologies, and so they're trying to repair what they're doing. But it's really hard for them to. They have accumulated a lot of karma. For we all have to face the responsibility of our own creation sooner or later. When I look at the world, I'm being asked to look at all those situations in the world. Sometimes I feel like, well, I'd be better in a garden surrounded with flowers in my studio, just painting outside of society. But I know my soul and spirit wants me to go into the world and with this light of God and bring some understanding, try to bring resolution in a peaceful and gentle way. But in many sense, everything we see in politics is like strengths. It's about business, and it's about whoever's it's like this trade war. But in many sense, it's better to do a trade war, although it's really there is better ways to go about it. But that we'll soon come to understand. But it's better to do a trade war than physical war, because if we trade with someone, we cannot make a war with someone. If we make a war, the trade stops, and so it is. We have to go through all those things that we have to go through. It's all building us to this enlightenment, because the more darker the place where we come from, the greater the light we'll discover when we ascend. For we live in a primitive society, post-industrial society, so we do not want to. We have to be patient with all this whole process. For there is a great deal of discussion of the climate change. It's not by raising tax that they're going to change the climate change. The climate change are connected to a greater cycle of the Earth. The Earth is there is cosmic cycle, and this is the Earth that's changing the climate. What we need to do is get rid of this dependency on fossil fuel. There is all kinds of inventions that are already being made, but because there is so much economical there is so much money invested in those fossil fuel that we became addicted to that, and we do not want a solution. But they will have no choice. We're going to have to change that, because we're living on all those fossil fuel, those energies are like the organs of the earth. Like the oil is the blood of the earth, so the earth gives it to us voluntarily. It's okay, but since soon there'll be new ways to go about it, and we won't have to destroy the trees, we won't have to pollute and fish the fish, we won't have to destroy our environment to live. We're going to discover the new potential as when we're ready, and there is a great deal that will be shifted, that will come in the next 2 years, that will shift the whole of humanity. For now, we have to make leaps of faith, to believe in magic, to manifest, and when there is no more doubt, things can happen. Let's see. I wanted to speak about society. In many sense, what we want is to simplify our life. Here in France, it's very, very complicated. And the first mission of a government should be to eliminate poverty. It's very simple. You just gotta sacrifice a submarine, and the price of a submarine, you create housing for all the population, and then you have to not force them, but it's all in education. Poverty is just a state of mind, for we are all rich inside if we develop this inner wealth. And it's not about blaming the rich for the misery of the poor. Of course, there are people that abuse the world, and that's how they created their wealth, is through abuse, and those people will have to face the music when the situation comes. And in many sense, certain rich corporation and even certain that are not working. Although there is a lot of ethics that is coming in all the media, people are asking questions that they did not ask before. So it is a definite improvement. But in many sense, those who are rich because they have worked hard or because they inherited it, they are not responsible for other people's suffering. It's like we do not want to move to the place where everybody is poor. We want to move to a place where everybody is rich. This cannot be achieved in one step. First, we have to eliminate poverty and focus on the well-being of the middle class. For the middle class is the bastion of freedom. It is where it happens. The family life. It's when the middle class are happy and can fulfill their experience. Everything works. So there's going to be a great deal of change in the political situations of the world. For now, we have to deal with all the situation, but there are certain leaders that are already aligned with the higher plan of the light and peace. And of course, we do not see that in the media. Those who are aligned with the global peace and the future of light are portrayed as dark dictators, when in truth they're working for humanity, and we'll know that at the end. But because the matrix is controlled, those who control the media they need to reinforce those policies. For in many sense, those who have read George Orwell understand the deep state need to control all its counterpower. It is the one that commissioned all the wars, all the terrorism is being controlled by a central power in order to reinforce the idea that the population would accept a tyrannical police state. It is part of the program, but we do not want to blame them. Those people they're going to have to face all kinds of things that are extremely hard. So we want to send them light and love to all the dark souls, so that they can let go and stop doing those horrible things, this horrible violence. In many sense, I feel like I really despise violence, but sometimes I feel like maybe we should take all the violent people. Once they do it once, we forgive them. Doing twice, we forgive them. Then we send them into an island, and then they can kill each other if that's what they want. And then so that will be quite probably people would probably fear that and would try to respect a little bit more. All the ideas I'm presenting about the Earth world are just relative. They're just idea. Everything I present about the spiritual world are not relative. They are like they will remain true no matter in 1,000 years from now, but all those things are just avenues to understand. We're looking for solution. We're looking for balance. For now, there is a lot of popular rebellions, and in many sense, those rebellions they're creating social link. People can feel this connection through the same struggle, but we want to eventually create a social link through love and acceptance. For some time, it is through the drama, through the problem that we learn. Otherwise, we are indifferent and we brush it aside. But when so that the universe has to catalyze drama in order to help us understand those things. So in many sense, what we need to is there is a silent minority that is not being heard, and that's the middle class. And this is really where we need to focus our attention, is creating this well-being. I would love to make France a fiscal paradise, to make it the country where people are the most happy, the most creative, and that's a vision that make Paris the center of the new age. For now, it's like, but it has to get really dark before the light comes up. But the darker the light, the more the darkness, the greater the light that will come out. So you have to have faith, patience, and to continue to send love and light to all beings. It is assisting for even the planet. There is a lot of situations that are in suffering, that are in pain. So by sending this violet fire or this light, this love into the energy level, you're assisting. You're letting the planet know that you love her, that you want to assist her. You participate in this great uplifting that will be happening. For life is a stream of life. For we are born at a source, and then it grows. Sometimes there is obstacle, and then we have to go over the obstacle, or we can go around it. And at the end, we return to the ocean. It's where we come from, and this great ocean of love and light. And so it is important to see yourself, to see your life as a river, and try to navigate this river with grace and ease as much as possible. Utilize your guide, call your guides, call on your creator. So the highest wisdom for us today is love life, same as in French, so in the French video. So it's about taking care of those ability for relationship, romance, to be ready for something deep, something for romantic life, increase the quality of our experience. What we need to understand is the Father is to recognize the divine, recognize the divine, recognize the plans, the mind of God, the truth of God, the face of God in all things and all beings. For it takes a while, because God is being an absolute being, is the most invisible of all the invisible forces. But we do want to know that it is there. Whether we celebrate as the Father, the Mother, or the One. Doesn't matter, as long as we are coherent within ourselves. Then what we need to do is Asia. Maybe it's going to Asia. I feel very called for my heart to eventually to go to Japan, and the other countries as well, but probably we'll start with Japan. For here it is the Buddha, it's finding the Samadhi, it's finding the serenity and lucidity, and the outcome will be knighthood. For it is about standing, it's about being to fight, but to fight in a gentle way, to use to use you have a shield of light, you have a sword of light, you can use it to cut through things, and it's like a jungle, so you cut your way through, and this sword of light does not hurt anybody, but it separates the dark from the light, and then the dark needs to be reintegrated within the light, but it's like clarity helps define that neutral way. Understanding that with God, once we connected to God, nothing is impossible. Or maybe I already mentioned that. There is only one matrix that includes all. So there's a shadow matrix, all kinds of veil, but on our higher planes there is just one matrix, one infinite. Everything else is illusion. For we are real, we are individual being living within that one, within that infinity, and that is to have to recognize yourself as a child of God, as an extension of God. Time is the separator. Time is what separates. So what we want to do is to collapse time to be in the fifth dimension, where anything we want, anything we think happens immediately. For in the physical realm, it takes a little bit longer. I know for me, it may all happen all at once. There's a lot of these. But in many sense, we want to be able to, in a new political system, we want to be able to balance things out, to harmonize, but we don't have the same needs. What we need is to feel good, to feel secure, and to be able to grow and to prosper. And so, no matter what level we are on, we need to uplift, to find systems where everybody will feel eventually included. So yeah, I think I covered pretty much. The card of the day is the same one as in the French reading. I have 78. I'm just pulling the same one again. So it's a positive experience on the emotional level. You will be fulfilled by your romantic relationship. Let yourself be guided by your intuition. So there is a lot of love and magic that will come through the holiday and next year. For deep relations, they usually last long-lasting, but sometimes superficial relations are fine, but there is much more to be discovered within a deep relationship. The painting behind me is called The Light Body. It is like it's a painting that's very it's about the 7 major chakras of the human body. I thought I had finished it, but then I had to rework, and now I think it is completely done. Although it's got all those planets within the aura. It's like symbolistic of the human body that's like dissolving the physical, and there is all this energetic pillar of light. Pillar of light is like this great energy that surrounds us, that we'll receive eventually. The card of the day is the lion and the deer. The lion and the deer. So we have to have the strength of the lion, but the gentleness of the deer. So that was about what I wanted to say. I hope this message was interesting for you. I'm going to sing a song. It's a French song. It's about an artist that was very avant-garde, a singer, but he tried everything he could. But then he was misunderstood, and then I see also people that had a lot of money that made the success, but they had very little voice. But they used marketing, and but he knows within himself that he has talent, and so it's a nice song. It goes like this. À 18 ans, j'ai quitté ma province, bien décidé à empoigner la vie. Le cœur léger et le bagage mince, j'étais certain de conquérir Paris. Chez le tailleur le plus chic, j'ai fait faire ce complet bleu qui était du dernier cri. Les photos, les chansons et les orchestrations ont eu raison de mes économies. Je me voyais déjà en haut de l'affiche, en 10 fois plus gros que n'importe qui, mon nom s'étalait. Je me voyais déjà adulé et riche, signant mes photos aux admirateurs qui se bousculaient. J'étais le plus grand des grands fantaisistes, faisant un succès si fort que les gens m'acclamaient debout. Je me voyais déjà cherchant dans ma liste celle qui pour un soir pourrait par faveur se pendre à mon cou. Mes traits ont vieilli bien sûr sous mon maquillage, mais la voix est là, le geste est précis et j'ai du ressort. Mon cœur s'est aigri un peu en prenant de l'âge, mais j'ai des idées, je connais mon métier et j'y crois encore. Rien que sous mes pieds, de sentir la scène, de voir devant moi un public assis, j'ai le cœur battant. On m'a pas aidé, je n'ai pas eu de veine, mais au fond de moi, je suis sûr au moins que j'ai du talent. Mon complet bleu, il y a 30 ans que je le porte, et mes chansons ne font rire que moi. Je cours le cachet, je fais du porte-à-porte, pour subsister, j'ai fait n'importe quoi. Je n'ai connu que des succès faciles, des trains de nuit et des filles à soldats, les cachets minables, les valises à porter, et les petits meublés et les maigres repas. Je me voyais déjà en photographie, au bras d'une star, l'hiver dans la neige, l'été au soleil. Je me voyais déjà racontant ma vie, l'air désabusé à des débutants friands de conseils. J'ouvrais calmement les soirs de première, 1000 télégrammes de ce tout Paris qui nous fait si peur. Mourant de trac devant ce parterre, entrer sur la scène sous les ovations et les projecteurs. J'ai tout essayé pourtant pour sortir du nombre. J'ai chanté l'amour, j'ai fait du comique et de la fantaisie. Si tout a raté pour moi, si je suis dans l'ombre, ce n'est pas ma faute, mais celle du public qui n'a rien compris. On ne m'a jamais accordé ma chance. D'autres ont réussi avec peu de voix et beaucoup d'argent. Moi j'ai été trop pur ou trop en avance. Mais un jour viendra, je leur montrerai que j'ai du talent. It's a song that somebody, it's like the young guy that dreams to see fame and fortune, so he's singing, but then with time he realized that it didn't happen, but he knows within himself that he had talents, and so this is, for me, I wanted to say, but for me it's like my life, I've been moving to France because of circumstances that are complicated a few years ago, but I want to return to my first original career, which is gallery dealer, art dealer. For as an art dealer, when you do business as an art dealer, you do no harm. Even if you would sell bad art, for if it's too expensive or there is very little harm that can be done through selling art. Of course, you want to be selling good art at a good price. Of course, satisfy the need of your clients so they're happy. Of course, but in many sense, selling art is an instrument of peace. So there is, which is not the case of every business. There's certain business that are done that makes a lot of money, but that are creating a great deal of prejudice. But I'm very happy to see that there is a great deal of enlightenment that is coming into the world through the media. There is a lot of new questions, ethical questions are being asked in all the medias, and so it will take time. But be patient and love and light to any situation that needs it. For if there is confusion, darkness. Into anything, then they need light, and so they need your light. And so I hope this message was interesting for you. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.